with you.
I don't know why people are excited.
We
like,
are excited.
It's the update.
But I don't have feel. Like, there's no feel in
Okay.
Abuja right now.
That one day.
I mean,
That's one of the issues we need to be updated about.
Yes.
The program is the update where we bring you hot, new, trending issues making the rounds in our society, and we bring you perspectives as well. My name is Ehi Ohiani.
I am Makcit Rindap.
And I am Sylvia Ishegbe. So, speaking about the fuel issue, Makcit doesn't have fuel. I have two. Somebody queued for 4 hours last night. How's the price situation in your area? You tell us. We saw the return of this fuel in Abuja over the weekend on Friday.
Exactly,
Yes.
suddenly.
And
Yes.
We just, like from nowhere. It just started, I think, Thursday evening or Friday-ish. Just started little queues here and there. And then the jerrycan guys were definitely back on the street.
On the street.
So, like, that
almost
was
like
very-
they never left. It's like they were just
Exactly.
lurking somewhere waiting. Is it time? Is it time? And then they just pounced on us again.
And, they create a kind of feeling of phobia. Like, when you see these guys, you're like,
what's happening again?
exactly.
Then you refresh the news to check if there's any latest.
Yes.
But the thing is, there's no latest. The only latest or update on it is that NNPC, because people were worried and queuing, I had to release a statement yesterday to say it is because of the public holiday, the summer holiday.
I don't understand. Like,
usually when there are long holidays like this, it affects the offload process at the depot.
Yes.
Not that there's no fuel, but it's the offload now at the depots that
I just
delayed.
feel like in Nigeria we use some grammar, some English to explain why some persons have to exploit others. What's that supposed to mean? So, like, during this holiday, some people, like maybe doctors, shouldn't have offloaded their services to their patients.
Oh yeah, so they're essential workers.
Exactly.
So,
that shouldn't even arise at all. Is this the first time?
Point. That's a valid point.
Well, if you have fuel, good for you. If you don't have, please queue up and please take a lot of water and maybe some food.
Panic buying is going on, right?
That's
now.
it, yes. But also share your own experience if you've had to buy fuel in the last couple of days, or if you're anticipating buying fuel in the next couple of days. Let us know in the comment section. We are Click Naija on Facebook and on YouTube, and on Instagram and Twitter we are Click Naija 1. All right.
Yes. Other topical issues we are going to be looking at on the update today. We look at the cost of political parties' nomination forms for the election, with the presidential nomination form of the All Progressive Congress going for 100 million.
100 million.
A whopping sum.
Yes. We'll also look at the latest on the death of the core member who was found dead in local Goma, Abuja, and the husband has been arrested so far. And also to building collapse in Lagos.
In a row.
Yes.
In less than a week.
Yes, in less than a
1
week
week.
actually.
Wow.
Yes, those are the stories we're going to be looking at.
All right, so let's just go straight to it.
So the
APC.
nomination forms.
Wow.
I feel like, we can just come up with our own political party right now. This thing sounds lucrative. Let's form something.
It
now,
really is a
seriously.
business.
And then we put an amount, even if it's 100K. Do you get this?
Well, to
100
start
million.
small. Let us start small. 100.
At least our producer will take one form. Hafsat should take one form. Her assistant would also take a form. That's already 200K. Sylvia, you would take a form because she would
take and buy for a friend.
buy for a friend.
Exactly.
I mean, people have actually tried to tally up, the so far, assuming, okay, of course there'll be expenses, to run a party, but people are already saying how much the party has, generated from the sale of forms, because we have like 25 people on record that have purchased APC, for the APC presidential
That's
candidate.
200 and how many? Like
2 billion or
2 billion,
2.something billion
billion
naira.
Wow, almost 3 billion.
So and of course it's going to keep rising, because
the number
will keep rising. The figures will keep rising.
There are a lot of analysis about this thing all over the place. There are the insider calculations and insider gist. But again, there's the part of, okay, what are they buying this form for? They are buying the form to bid for the seat of the president. That is even to be chosen at the party level.
Yes.
And someone said, okay, so how much is because like the logical calculation would be, is this supposed to be like an investment? you know, if you buy a form, it's like you're buying, for example, you're buying form to go to school. Let's say your JAM form is 2,000 naira. You know what you're going to get out of JAM is your certificate, which is going to give you a degree after you've gone to school. And hopefully, when you start to earn money, you would earn much more than 2,000 or whatever else you put in while in school. So then the question, you know, arose that, oh, okay, so what are they buying the form for? To become president, right? How much is the salary of the president of Nigeria?
That you have to invest
100 million to gain form just to even get the form.
30 million. 30 million per annum.
30 million naira per annum.
So
yes,
logically, it's not a wise investment.
Yes.
If you look at it that way. But there are suggestions, speculations going on here and there on social media. I mean, social media has gone agog over this issue, and some people are saying, "Hey, it's like Ponzi scheme."
you know, you're putting in something to make much more than that.
Higher. Yes. Maybe some people will now tell you, hey, why not drop for this person? Drop for, let's settle you, and then they settle you, and then you
those are party undercurrents.
But anyway, but that's the thing. At the end of the day, of course, we know that it's not everyone who has purchased the ticket that will actually move on, even to the primaries. Even to the primaries at the before the point of the primaries, we know that some people will definitely drop. You know, for one reason or the other.
But they've bought the form already.
They bought the forms.
And people that bought this form, they're all over, you know, like from different cadre of the society.
You have the political zones of the
different political zones.
Two females from the APC just
Well, I think the females, did they say they gave them forms for free?
I haven't heard anything of that sort. Maybe not free. Maybe not free.
It should be
subsidized.
Free for women,
Subsidized.
Now the APC national chairman said something, and I think so on the other side, so for those calculating that the salary of the president is this, so why should you? But this is what he said, because they are looking at it from the political angle. He said that if a presidential aspirant cannot mobilize at least 10,000 supporters to raise such an amount, that person is not a serious contestant. Do you get? So like from the angle of politicking now and getting support, so I think maybe on the side of APC, I have to use the word maybe, it's looking like a test to see how popular you are, how much you can galvanize people and resources you get together.
I mean, even Ezulum, the Borno State governor, actually, there was a headline that mentioned that, you know, people in the states, different associations, actually contributed the 50 million that he used to purchase, you know, his own ticket.
Yes,
so
nobody should.
A lot of people,
have said that people contributed.
Even though some of them are questionable.
Exactly. So nobody should blame Yon Edochie for coming online and say, "Let us contribute money."
Y'all should better. In fact, his own matter. We are
still trying to sort the matter.
Well, it's good to also know what other parties are buying these forms for. This presidential form for the PDP, it is pegged at 40 million, SDP at 35 million, NNPP at 30 million, and YPP is at 20 million.
The update PP is going to be at 100,000.
No, that logistics now. We have to take
100,000 is okay.
Yes.
Okay, just come.
You got to buy.
For people who will mobilize to help you purchase the
We'll speak on your behalf.
Yes. So we move on to the next story. Terengwa Edward Achado, who is the husband of the late corps member Stephanie Terengwa, who has been arrested by the FCT Police Command in respect to her death. Now, the corps member died recently after she was kidnapped. Yes, she was missing. She went missing
on the 14th of April.
On the 14th of April, and eventually they found the son. So the update is that the husband has been arrested with 2 others.
Yes, and then they say, you know, it's because they were the last people to have spoken to her based on phone records and all that. So the last 3 people to have communicated with her, and that's why they are the people of interest at this time.
Another, you know, sad story, missing person, getting killed, and her body was what was the state when she was found?
Well, it was.
She was defaced. I mean, her face was like acid, like there was a volatile, substance that was used on her face, so she was almost unrecognizable.
I just think these things, raise serious concerns as to the kind of people we've kept all around us and we're harboring around us. If the husband and whoever else have been arrested, and if truly they have anything to do with this is really worrisome. Do you understand? The other time we had a case of a teacher in Kano who was using his own, who did kidnapped and killed his own pupil. Do you understand? All because of money. These are really worrisome times. Seriously, I don't know what to think.
For Stephanie's case, when the news broke initially, they said he was her baby daddy. There were no factual story. They were living together. They said she came because she was serving in Abuja. She came to stay in his house. That was the story initially. But so with the moment he was arrested, then the headlines they're saying Stephanie's husband. Because and
apparently she's bearing his name.
So now the case is that okay, she's his wife. Because people were like, it seemed like the man didn't raise the alarm when she got missing at first.
Okay, so that's what.
So so it was like he said she received a text that she was somewhere.
Yes.
And so it was like she was fine. And if you say,
and then is that what usually happens if you say she's fine? Because like if your wife tells you she's somewhere, where is she?
Do you understand? And I mean, I feel like if you say she's your wife, you'll be more concerned with her exact whereabouts. But if it was a situation of just having a child together, you feel like she has her life, if she wants to be with friends.
What was the state of the child when they found the child?
They didn't say. There were no specifics, but there was nothing. They didn't say that the child was hurt. Okay. Yes, child was fine.
So he received a phone call. So go to a location and pick the child. And then they found her ID card and everything.
Where with the baby, child. Yes. And they said it wasn't the man. He wasn't the one who went to pick the baby.
Okay.
It was a sister or a family friend who went to pick the baby. And that's another thing people question. Now, why didn't he go himself? So that's why, personally, too, I feel like maybe they were not actually legally married yet.
Yes.
Because there seem to be too many,
Yes. Unanswered, clauses here and there. It's also, I think her family would need to step up to. I mean, if she's married, the family would know that we gave this man our daughter, isn't it? I know a lot of young persons do things these days without the knowledge or the consent of their families, and this case has many unanswered questions. It draws the attention of a lot of young persons to make sure that whatever they're engaging in is open, transparent. You carry people along. At the end of the day, it's for your own good and your own safety.
Yes, and this season is actually a season where we all have to be careful, security-wise. Like if you're going out, make sure, like you said, make sure somebody knows where you're going. Yes,
people can track you, people can follow your movements.
Because by now we should have been having a statement or a report either from her mother or her father.
They said it was her mother. Yeah, the ones that came and filed the missing. 7 days later, also, after she had left the house, that's when the family came from Benue State. The ones that filed the missing persons report.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, tell us what you think about the story. If you have any suggestion or any idea of what could have gone wrong, or even what should be done, please drop your comments and feel free to even ask questions if you have any. So another sad story. It's not a day to be sad, but we know it's the update. So we bring you all of these things. 2 buildings collapsed in the space of one week in Lagos State. And yes. Barely 3 months after the collapse of that 21-story building.
Exactly.
And this one happened. Sadly, the first one that collapsed, people lost their life, like 10 people or so. A lot of people were injured. But the second one, they got wind that, okay, this building is about to collapse. So they evacuated the building. So,
yes. When I read that, I was curious, like, I wonder what the sign was, that prompted them that the building was going to collapse.
So I think even in all this, what's the name of the organization again that
the Building Collapse Prevention Guild?
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. So there's this organization which is coming to light now. I think even during the last 21-story building case, we didn't really hear much about this guild, but I'm seeing some stuff about them now, and I think this is an organization that should be much more prominent. This guild reports that there are over 43 incidents of building collapse in 2019 alone, and that Lagos State accounts for about 39.5% of building collapses in Nigeria. That's like 1/3. Okay, and with a total of 17 collapsed buildings, and that 36,000 buildings in Lagos State are at potential risk of collapsing. So my question is, which buildings are these buildings? You can't have that figure of buildings that are at risk of collapsing, and then
you still have them
nothing,
and people are still in those buildings.
Have they been marked somehow?
Exactly.
Are people aware of these buildings?
They might be marked. I mean, there's some marked buildings that are still there.
True.
Like there are some negotiations going on behind the scenes, but
you
they
know
should be
how
pulled down.
FCDA, for example, in Abuja, FCDA would come and mark and stuff like that. But people just have this impression that if FCDA is coming to mark, they're just coming because they want money, not because.
Yes, that's the impression people
that's
have.
the impression.
Unfortunately, they don't see that this could be a potential risk now for maybe
Exactly.
the inhabitants of that building or those around it.
I think this organization needs to come forth more to the fore so that people really understand the risk that is involved. In fact, the government needs to take whatever report that these kinds of organizations put out very seriously. Do you understand? 36,000 buildings. We need the list of those buildings.
Yes.
We need the list of the buildings.
People will say, so what will happen to the people living there? How will they move them? Will they be
Well,
compensated?
if the building collapses, what will happen to those people?
These are actually
You know,
old
when
buildings.
you talk about
that area of Lagos, they have old.
When you talk of
buildings,
what's
that
going
have been
to
there
happen
for
to these
years.
people now, there are up to now, even in Lekki, there are buildings now that people are living in that get flooded. People are living. Somebody.
And it will get flooded. They wait for the flood to dry out, then they continue.
Somebody shared on Twitter. There was actually a trend, like a thread of stories. Somebody said he went to visit a friend. That they woke up in the middle of the night because they were soaked in water. That they were, shoveling water out of the apartment. So somebody will tell you that the way these houses are built. So it's like, is it the engineers that are to blame, the contractors, or the owners of these buildings, the landlords that actually approve such buildings?
The whole system failure.
Yes,
because there is still...
And then tenants that even pay to stay because it's like, some of them, they don't disclose the conditions.
No, definitely not.
Yes, so you move and then you realize that this is what's happening, and you've already paid, so there's nothing you can do. So honestly,
it's a whole system failure, because at every stage of building there are approval checkpoints.
Yes.
You get, and once one approval checkpoint is corrupted and you get your way around it, you're going to keep doing that through the entire process till you get your building up as you want it to be. You're going to keep on breaking the law and shortchanging, going on with the substandard building that you're putting up, basically.
Well, sadly, this is what has happened in Lagos. It is worrisome, the news we're getting from Lagos in terms of building collapse, but thank God nobody lost their lives in the second building that collapsed. They got wind of it and escaped death. So the authorities need to do something about it, as we've done. So thank you so much to all of you who are watching and also listening to us on our website.
If you know where Makcit can get fuel,
please let's handle.
Tell me.
Put in the comment section. She will be reading.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, remember to share this video, comment, like, love it, and also subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
My name is Sylvia Ishegbe.
I am Makcit Rindap.
And my name is Ehi Ohiani. This program was produced by Hafsat Isa. Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.